Why God let you be born into poverty, chosen one's true calling. Chosen one, have you ever stopped and wondered why your first breath entered a world of struggle? Why your childhood was marked not by abundance, but by lack, where survival overshadowed dreams and need came before love? Why were you placed on a battlefield while others were cradled in comfort? These are not random thoughts passing through your mind. They are echoes from your soul, ancient questions rising from within, searching for answers that the world itself cannot give. And today, this moment, the answer has found you. You are not here by chance. You did not stumble into this message by accident. This is not coincidence, it is divine alignment, a spiritual summons. Your spirit has been stirred because heaven has declared that now is the time for you to know what others were never meant to understand. You were not just called by name. You were chosen in the fire. And that fire was poverty. The very weight you once saw as a curse was never meant to destroy you. It was designed to shape you. Poverty, for the chosen, is not random misfortune. It is not divine punishment. It is preparation. It is assignment. It is the sacred initiation into strength, wisdom, and power that few will ever taste. Think back and you'll know this is true. You've carried these questions longer than you realize. Perhaps as a child staring at shelves that were bare, or listening to arguments in the night about bills and survival. You didn't just witness poverty, you were forged in it. And that fire marked you for destiny. Maybe you felt it as a teenager, when you couldn't wear what your classmates wore, when you had to smile through the sting of lack. Or perhaps as an adult, when every dream seemed delayed by bills, burdens, and prayers for just enough to make it through. And in the quiet of your soul, you've asked, why me? Here is the truth. You were born into poverty because heaven needed a vessel strong enough to carry light into darkness. You were not placed there because you were forgotten. You were placed there because you were trusted. Trusted to rise even when nothing was handed to you. Trusted to shine when the world tried to dim you. Trusted to become the kind of soul that cannot be bought because you already paid the price in silence, in struggle, in hiddenness. This is not just information. This is revelation. If your spirit is burning as you hear this, then it is your confirmation. Type 777 in the comments, not as ritual, but as a prophetic agreement that this truth belongs to you. If this word feels like it was written for your very soul, it's because it was. The Spirit is confirming what you've always sensed but never had language for. Your pain carried a purpose, and that purpose is now being revealed. So I ask you to do 3 things, not for me, but for your own alignment. First, like this video, not as an act of vanity, but as a signal that this message matters. Second, subscribe and tap the bell, because the chosen bloom is your refuge, a sanctuary for your spirit. And third, share this with the one you already know is on your heart, the friend who cries in secret, the soul weighed down with invisible burdens, the one who believes their life is cursed when in truth it is sacred. Because the reality is this: poverty is one of heaven's sharpest tools, not to break the chosen, but to shape them. Not because it was fair, not because it was easy, but because poverty shatters what must be broken before the chosen can rise. It breaks pride. It breaks entitlement. It breaks the false security of depending on the world. And from that breaking, something divine is born: spiritual resilience, supernatural faith, and an unshakable sense of purpose. You were not born poor because God forgot you. You were born poor because heaven foresaw what you would become. And no, not everyone will understand this, because this message was never for everyone. It is for the remnant. It is for the awakened. It is for those who suffered in silence, yet never surrendered their hope. You've wrestled with your identity, asking if something was wrong with you. But chosen one, what if the truth is this: you were never set aside? You were set apart. The system rejected you because you were never made to serve it. You were marked by divine hands, placed on a path that required you to feel what others ignore, so you could carry what others cannot. And now that you have survived it, the question shifts: what will you do with it? Because in this message, I will reveal the spiritual reasons for poverty. I will show you why being born with nothing was the perfect beginning for a soul destined for everything that truly matters. I will uncover how what felt like abandonment was in fact alignment. How lack carved a hunger that now fuels your rise. How poverty was never proof of your curse, it was proof of your calling. You see, you weren't just born into a poor family. You were born into a divine assignment. You were not merely born into poverty. You were born into a system one crafted to suppress the light, to numb the gifted, to distract the divine. But you, chosen one, did not lose your hearing. When the world roared with noise, you still caught the whispers of God. When others saw only emptiness, you saw signs written in the sky. You felt movements in the unseen that no one else even noticed. That is how I know you are chosen, not because you said it, but because your life has proven it. You stayed when most would have quit. You carried dreams on your back while the weight of poverty pressed against you. And now it is time for clarity. Your beginning was never your disqualification. It was your qualification. You were born poor so that when you rise, it will not be only for yourself, it will be for those still trapped in the same cycle. You were sent to break patterns. And to break them, you first had to live them, feel them, and know them. You were born poor because your legacy was never meant to be built on material illusion. Your inheritance is spiritual wealth, eternal substance. And now the time has come to awaken fully to that truth. Stay with me to the end of this message, because each part will take you deeper into the divine contracts your soul agreed to before stepping into this world, into the spiritual armor you forged in silence, and into the supernatural strength that is now ready to awaken within you. So, breathe deep, chosen one. What was once hidden is now being revealed. This is your turning point. Do not believe the lie that you missed your moment. You are right on time. The answers you've been searching for are here. The revelation is ready. And your spirit has been waiting for this confirmation. So lean in. Let's begin. Chosen one, hear this. Poverty was never a mistake. It was initiation, not accident, not oversight, not punishment. It was a sacred rite of passage designed specifically for souls marked like yours. You weren't being cursed, you were being prepared. And until you see it this way, you'll continue to misinterpret your early struggles as setbacks instead of the sacred assignments they truly were. Yes, some of you were born into lack so heavy it felt unbearable. Empty fridges, eviction notices, sleepless nights spent worrying how to survive another day. But you need to see what was really happening. That was not random suffering, it was your classroom. It was your spiritual gym. The place where your soul was trained to carry weights most people will never even touch. It wasn't designed to break you. It was designed to build you. From your very first breath, heaven had already placed a mantle on your name. You were never sent here to blend in. You were never meant for a soft life wrapped in illusions. You came with a divine contract, and poverty was the fire that tested the purity of your soul. The world may have looked at you and seen struggle, but the Spirit looked at you and saw strength. Because chosen ones are never prepared in palaces. They are prepared in pits. Think about it, every prophet, every messenger, every true spiritual warrior throughout history endured a season of lack of resources, lack of support, lack of recognition, but never lack of purpose. Their initiation was hidden in their hardship, and so was yours. There are lessons reserved only for those who have walked through poverty. Truths that the wealthy will never have to wrestle with. And you, chosen one, were placed there not to become bitter, but to become battle-tested. Out of that fire came a sacred wisdom that can't be written in books. You learned how to stretch what little you had. You learned how to create when there was nothing. You learned how to pray from the depths of your gut, not just from the surface of your mind. You learned how to sense heaven even when earth gave you nothing. That, chosen one, is power. And no amount of money can buy it. The world may call poverty shameful. But in the spiritual realm, poverty often signals refinement. Wealth can distract, but lack sharpens. The rich may drown in their illusions, but the poor have clarity. The poor hear God in the silence. The poor cannot afford to pretend. They feel everything in that raw sensitivity, that depth, that hunger. It becomes the foundation for true spiritual sight. You were never sent here to envy the rich. You were sent to redefine what true wealth means. Poverty lifted the veil. It stripped away illusions. It revealed what was false and taught you to treasure what can never be taken. And yes, it didn't always feel like a gift. There were nights you cried yourself to sleep, nights the weight felt unbearable. But even in those tears, your spirit was being shaped. Each tear carried meaning. Each trial was wrapped in revelation. Each limitation was heaven's push toward divine expansion. Poverty was not just lack, it was invitation. An invitation into intimacy with the divine. When there was no money to lean on, no safety net beneath you, you were forced to lean on something greater. That is where your relationship with God deepened. That is where your discernment sharpened. That is where your true purpose began to breathe. You may not have held material wealth, but you carried a treasure most will never touch, faith forged through fire. Do you know how rare that is? Do you realize how many walk this earth without ever praying from the pit, without ever needing to believe for a miracle, because they never faced desperation? But you had to believe. You had to trust when nothing made sense. And that trust, that raw spiritual muscle, is worth more than gold. It is wealth eternal. And when you begin to see your past through this lens, shame loses its grip. You realize your story was never just survival. It was sacred elevation. The world may have looked down on you, but all along, heaven was applauding your every step. Because while others had everything and wasted it, you had nothing and still moved forward. That chosen one is spiritual royalty. Let the world judge. Let them mock. Let them misunderstand. They cannot see what heaven sees. They do not know that your poverty was prophecy in disguise. They cannot grasp that your lack was training for your destiny. And now, the initiation nears its end. You are rising, but not with arrogance, not with ego. You rise with power, with clarity, with the inner fire that only the storm could ignite. And this is why you must stop looking back through the lens of regret. Stop comparing your path to those who never walked through your furnace. You were chosen for this. You were forged in this. You were awakened through this. You are not behind, you are right on time. You are only now beginning to understand the design. So breathe, chosen one. You did not fail. You were initiated. And the world is about to see what heaven has always known. You are ready. Here lies the mystery, the soul contract. This truth may shake you, but it will also set you free. You chose this path before you entered this world. Yes, you. The poverty, the pain, the pressure you agreed to it in the spirit realm? Not because you desired suffering, but because your soul was built for the assignment. You saw the weight of the mission. You saw the darkness on the earth. And instead of turning away, you said, "Send me." Long before you had a name, before you carried a body, you existed as spirit whole, conscious, radiant, and in the council of the divine, your soul signed a covenant with the Creator, a sacred promise that you would walk through the shadows, not to be consumed by them, but to carry the light through them. You did not come here to be ordinary. You did not come here for luxury or applause. You came here marked, appointed, and chosen. You came here to awaken and to awaken others. But to do that, you first had to forget. You had to be born into a family, a neighborhood, a generation that would trigger your remembrance through contrast. So you entered struggle not because you were unworthy, but because you were ready. Your soul chose resistance as the path, because resistance builds strength. You chose hardship as your teacher, because the strongest souls are never formed in comfort, they are forged in confrontation. Look back at your life. The early days, the broken places, the nights you thought you wouldn't make it. Ask yourself, how did you survive? How did you keep moving forward when everything around you said to give up? It was because something deep within already knew. Something in you remembered. That inner fire, that silent strength, that invisible resilience that was the echo of your soul contract. Even when your mind couldn't explain it, your spirit was walking in it. Chosen ones do not simply stumble into purpose. Their lives are orchestrated. Every detour, every delay, every disappointment was divinely mapped. Each experience was a code, a lesson, a piece of the mission. You had to taste abandonment so you could one day comfort the lonely. You had to know hunger so you would never worship what fades. You had to endure betrayal so you could discern what is real. None of it was random. All of it was written. From the moment your soul agreed to this earthly mission, you were marked, not with titles or trophies, but with something greater spiritual covering. You were hidden, protected, and trained in silence. Because heaven knew when the time came, you would carry what others could not. Because the higher the calling, the deeper the molding. And those born with great assignments often begin with great adversity. That is not punishment, it is sacred alignment. Poverty was never just circumstance. It was a trigger, a holy disruption, a wake-up call designed to stir your remembrance. When your soul chose this path, it knew that earthly lack would reveal heavenly truth, that in the absence of excess, you would discover essence, that in the absence of support, you would find your source. You came into this world with a mission encoded in your very DNA, but the code could only be activated by walking through what others run from. And now here you are, listening to this very message because the contract you signed in eternity is calling you to remember not only who you are, but why you came. Some of you can already feel it in your chest, in your bones, in your dreams, in the synchronicities, the visions, the numbers, the unshakable knowing that your life has always been spiritual, even when it looked like suffering. If you feel that veil lifting, comment 444 below. That is your confirmation. This awareness is power. Because once you understand that you chose this path, everything shifts. You stop seeing yourself as a victim of life and begin walking as a vessel of light. You no longer ask, why me? You begin to declare, for this I was chosen. Confusion turns into clarity. Fear turns into faith. You stop wishing for an easier life and start realizing your life was sacredly designed. They will ask, why would anyone choose pain? But chosen ones already know. Because to carry light in a dark world, You must first learn how to shine from within. And the only way to learn that is to be placed in circumstances where the only flame left was your spirit. That is what poverty did. It stripped away illusion. It unveiled the eternal within you. That is why you must stop apologizing for your beginnings. Your story is not broken, it is bold. It is prophetic. You are not late, you were being prepared. And now, as you step deeper into remembrance, you must honor your contract with action. Walk with purpose. Pray with fire. Move like someone heaven has entrusted. You did not come here to chase wealth. You came here to carry wisdom. And that wisdom was forged in the fire of your own life. Poverty taught you to see what others overlook. It gave you compassion, vision, and spiritual depth. You do not speak from theory, you speak from experience. And that is why your words carry power. So hear the truth, you were not born into poverty because of karma, coincidence, or cosmic error. You were born into it because your soul was brave enough to say yes. Yes to a harder road. Yes to a holy mission. Yes to awakening in a world content to sleep. And now, chosen one, it is your time to rise. Not by escaping your story, but by embodying it. You are the living proof that heaven sends its warriors in plain clothes, that the greatest healers often emerge from the deepest wounds, that spiritual generals are not born, they are forged. So lift your head, chosen one. You are not broken. You are bound by a divine oath, and that oath is unfolding within you even now. Understand this, not everything you endured was meant to be fixed. Some things were meant to form you. The pain, the lack, the heartbreak, the sleepless nights, none of it was wasted. Every moment that made you question your worth was actually building something eternal inside you. You didn't merely survive pain, you were sculpted by it. Your character, your spiritual integrity, your discernment, your voice, all of it was forged in fire. Many desire divine purpose, yet refuse the process that purifies them. But you, chosen one, were never given that option. You were set apart from the beginning, not shielded, not pampered. You were exposed to life's cruelty early. And while others were entertained, you were being educated by pain. Not in a classroom, but in the raw, relentless school of the soul. Pain has always been your teacher. And no, it did not come wrapped in kindness. It came wrapped in silence, rejection, and confusion. But even there, it carried a holy mission, because true spiritual strength is never born in comfort, it is born in collapse. In the moments when everything falls apart and all that remains is you and the divine. And that is where you met yourself. Not the self the world tried to shape. Not the self molded by survival. But your true core, the self that could still believe after betrayal, that could still love after abandonment, that could still hear God's whisper in the middle of the storm. That version of you was never created, it was revealed. Chosen one, there is a reason your journey has been so intense. It is because your destiny is heavy. And heavy callings demand deep foundations. The pain you endured was not punishment, it was preparation. It stripped you down to your soul, so that nothing remained to lean on but the divine. That is where your discernment was born. That is where your clarity sharpened. That is why you can sense spirits before words are spoken, why you notice what others overlook. Pain trained your eyes to see beyond the surface. And let's be honest, if you had been born in comfort, you would not be this spiritually sharp. You would not have sought truth with such desperation. You would not have learned to listen for signs, for patterns, for divine redirection. Pain tuned your soul to a frequency most people will never access because they've never had to. But you, chosen one, didn't just brush against pain. You lived in it. And that residency rewired your spirit. This is why you must stop cursing your past. It was never your grave. It was your greenhouse. Everything that tried to bury you is actually watering your roots. You thought you were being broken, but you were being built. Built to endure. Built to awaken. Built to carry truth in a world drowning in noise. And understand this character is not charisma. Character is what remains when the lights go out and the applause disappears. It is the integrity to say no when yes would be easier. It is the strength to walk away from what looks good but is not God. It is the patience to stay hidden while your spirit matures. This is what pain gave you. It gave you depth on the inside, a depth most people will never touch because they were never pressed to develop it. So when you wonder why your life was so hard, so lonely, so heavy, remember, heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was promoting you. It simply didn't look like elevation. It looked like isolation, but isolation was divine incubation. You were being kept in a sacred space, shielded from distraction, protected from premature success, hidden until your spirit was ready. Every sleepless night, every unanswered prayer, every season of lack was not wasted. It was aligning your heart with the rhythm of heaven. It was peeling away fear, pride, and false identity. It was teaching you how to endure storms without ever losing your light. That kind of preparation doesn't come with applause, but it comes with authority, and that authority is now rising in you. You weren't just enduring pain, you were walking through purpose, a hidden kind of purpose, the kind the world overlooks, but heaven celebrates. And now that your character has been forged in fire, nothing shallow can distract you anymore. You've outgrown illusions. You're no longer chasing surface blessings, you hunger for what is real, what is eternal, what aligns with your soul. Let this settle in. The pain was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your becoming. You are who you are today, not in spite of the pain, but because of it. And when the world sees your strength, your clarity, your wisdom, they will wonder where it came from. But you will know. It came from the nights you refused to quit, from the prayers you whispered through tears, from the resilience no one saw, but God always honored. So walk forward with your head lifted, not in arrogance, but in awareness. You have endured enough fire to know what you carry. And what you carry is not ordinary, it is sacred. It is forged. It is undeniable. These are lessons only the poor could learn, which is why the wealthy often miss them. Chosen one, there are things the rich will never understand. Not because they are incapable, but because they were never forced to see. When you are born with everything, you never stop to question anything. But when you arrive in this world with nothing, life itself becomes your teacher. And for the chosen, born poor and hidden, those lessons cut deeper than survival. They train you in a wisdom the wealthy rarely touch, not because they are wicked, but because they have never had to see life through spiritual eyes. The first lesson the poor learn is gratitude. Not shallow gratitude written in a journal because someone suggested it, but raw, soul-deep gratitude. The kind you feel when there's just enough rice in the bag, when the lights stay on for one more night, when an unexpected blessing arrives and you know it was God's hand moving. You don't take the small things for granted because you've lived in a world where even small things were miracles. And that kind of gratitude is not just nice, it is powerful. It keeps your heart open, your spirit alive, your soul anchored. The poor also learn creativity. When money is absent, you learn to multiply what little you have. You learn to turn scraps into meals, silence into ideas, chaos into peace. That creativity was never taught in classrooms, it was born under pressure, in moments where the only choice was adapt or break. And that creativity evolves into spiritual insight. You don't just create solutions. You create light in places where darkness once reigned. That is divine power. And then there is discernment. You've seen people appear when they needed something and vanish when they didn't. You've learned to read energy instead of words, to recognize fake smiles, empty promises, and conditional love. While others are surprised by betrayal, you've already discerned the signs. And understand this: such discernment did not come from privilege. It was forged through poverty, sharpened by experience, and refined by pain. It was born out of pain, out of watching your family, your friends, your surroundings, and quietly learning who could be trusted when nothing was left to give. And from pain came patience. Poverty never moves quickly. Nothing in lack is immediate. You learned to wait. You learned to endure. You carried dreams in your spirit while living in a reality that looked nothing like them. And in that tension, you gained a sacred patience, faith in timing, trust in divine delay, hope in slow but steady growth. The wealthy expect quick results. But you, chosen one, expect revelation, because you have seen that real change comes slowly, invisibly, yet powerfully. The rich often move through life with a cushion. Money softens consequences. It numbs fear. It hides discomfort. It masks spiritual emptiness. But this is why they often miss the very lessons you were forced to learn. They have not had to sit in silence with themselves. They have not prayed because no one else would answer. They have not been stripped of everything, only to discover they still had their soul, their strength, their spirit. But you were tested, and now you know who you are in ways they may never comprehend. And here lies the sacred irony. Many of them are desperately trying to purchase the peace you already carry. They seek it in therapy, in retreats, in crystals, in books, anything to taste what you feel when you simply sit with God in silence. They crave the depth that poverty gave you, because you don't need much to feel wealthy. You have already touched eternity. For though you may not hold their gold, you carry something greater: spiritual wealth, wisdom that cannot be bought, and vision that cannot be faked. Power forged in fire. And when your season of lack turns into abundance, you will know how to carry it, for you have been trained for this. In the eyes of the world, you were poor, but in the spirit, you were rich. And now that richness is ready to rise. Chosen one, hear this carefully. The enemy knew who you were before you knew yourself. That is why the battle began so early. That is why life came at you hard, before you even understood the meaning of spiritual warfare. It was not random. It was not bad luck. It was not a cursed bloodline. It was strategic. You were marked from the beginning. Even in the womb, your light was visible. Before you could walk, before you could speak, your potential was already recognized. And so, the enemy moved to silence you before you could ever step into your power. Some of you were born into chaos, into homes of poverty, addiction, neglect, abuse, and blindness of spirit. And you asked yourself, why me? Why was I placed here while others lived untouched? But listen now, your environment was not your enemy. It was the enemy's response to your identity. He could not touch your soul, so he tried to poison your surroundings. He could not cancel your calling, so he tried to shape your self-image through pain. If he could convince you early that you were worthless, unlovable, weak, then perhaps you would never rise to challenge him. But look at you. You are still here, still searching, still standing, still listening to truth. That alone proves he failed. For the enemy wastes no energy. He does not attack those who pose no threat. Many live easy lives because they carry no spiritual weight. But you are different. You carry something holy. You carry destiny. You carry disruption. Your very presence threatens patterns that have lasted generations. For here's the truth that should pierce your spirit. The enemy saw your purpose long before you did. He was more aware of your assignment than you were. That is why he did not wait until adulthood to strike. He attacked at the very beginning. He tried to reach you when you were still a child, soft, sensitive, still forming your identity. Because the enemy knows what most do not. If he can shape the mind of a chosen one early enough, they will doubt themselves for years. They will sabotage their own destiny. They will live small, believing they are the problem when all along they were the solution. But even with all of that, he could not destroy you. Yes, he may have slowed your steps. Yes, he left scars, but he never stole your soul. You may have fallen, but your spirit kept rising. For deep inside, something in you always knew this pain is not the end of me. That knowing, that unshakable awareness came from your spirit. It was your divine identity fighting to the surface. Chosen one, you must see your pain with spiritual eyes. Stop blaming yourself for battles you were born into. The enemy tried to clothe you in shame so you would never carry purpose. But shame breaks today. Condemnation breaks today. Guilt, silence, and confusion, they all break when you realize this truth. The war against your life was proof of your calling. Hell feared your voice. Demons trembled at your future. You were never ordinary. You were an assignment. And now you know. You are dangerous because you are no longer asleep. You are no longer wondering if God is real. You have seen too much. You have felt too much. You have survived too much. You are remembering who you truly are. And the enemy cannot bear it, because a chosen one who remembers is a threat to everything he has built. So here's what you must do now. Stop agreeing with lies. Stop shrinking to fit rooms you are meant to change. Stop apologizing for the weight of glory you carry. You stop hiding your wisdom. You stop silencing your intuition. You stop dimming your fire. You no longer look at your life as a curse. You begin to declare, this was spiritual warfare, and I survived it. If this word burns in your spirit, comment 999 below. Because chosen one, hear me, you were never crazy. You were never broken. You were never forgotten. You were attacked because you were anointed. And that attack did not define you, it revealed you. It exposed the fight within you that hell could not silence. Now, it is time to rise in that truth. The enemy knew your identity. That is why he fought so viciously. But what he never expected was that you would find your way back to your source. That you would hear this very message. That you would finally remember. And now that you do, there is no going back. You were always the threat. Now you are becoming the answer. Here is the mystery the world cannot comprehend. There is untouchable power in having nothing, yet still choosing faith. When you have no safety net, no backup plan, no wealth, no applause, and still you trust God, still you move forward, still you pray, still you expect the impossible, that is faith of another dimension. That is spiritual power the material world cannot imitate. You did not believe only when life was easy. You believed when the ground was dry. You believed with an empty stomach, with overdue bills, with no confirmation, no help, no visible proof that anything would ever change. You carried faith through famine. And for that reason, heaven honors you in ways this world will never be able to explain. Anybody can believe when their hands are full. But when your hands are empty and your heart still whispers, yes, that is when you know your spirit is alive. There is a holiness in having nothing. Not because lack itself is holy, but because it strips away the illusion that anything outside of God can sustain you. When you have nothing, you learn to lean not on men, not on systems, but on the divine. You learn the sound of your own soul. You learn how to recognize the whisper of God in the silence. You learn that Miracles do not come to the comfortable, they come to those who cry out from the deep. Chosen one, your poverty did not destroy your faith. It deepened it. It taught you to walk when you could not see, to believe when every voice told you to quit, to hope in the very center of hopelessness. And that kind of faith is rare. That kind of faith is prophetic. That kind of faith shakes the spiritual realm because it is not bound to outcomes, it is bound to truth. You have lived through nights when everything screamed, "Give up," yet your soul whispered, "Keep going." You have faced days with no answers, no provision, no certainty, and you prayed anyway. That is the faith that forges warriors. That is the faith that opens gates in heaven no man can shut because you believed when belief made no sense. Let others worship results, you worship revelation. Let others trust money, you trust miracles. Let others chase comfort, you have learned to run to the secret place. And there, in silence and surrender, your power has always lived. Hidden, quiet, humble, but unshakable. You are not spiritually weak because you had nothing. You are spiritually strong because you endured with nothing. And when breakthrough comes, and it will, you will carry it with wisdom, with balance, with humility. Because you did not stumble into blessing. You bled for it. You believed for it. You grew into it. So do not envy those who had it easy. You were built differently, sharpened differently, chosen for a higher walk. Your faith, forged in the fire of lack, is the very foundation upon which God is about to pour increase into your life. This is the quiet power of having nothing, chosen one. It taught you to see beyond illusion. It trained you to feel the Spirit in stillness. And most of all, it taught you that when the world gave you nothing, God was always enough. From survival to supernatural, this is how you activate the rise. Chosen one, you survived. That alone is a miracle. But this is not the end of your story. You were not born only to endure. You were born to evolve. You were born to rise. And not merely in the physical, not merely in the financial, but in the spiritual, in the supernatural. The season of barely making it is over. Before you now lies a higher dimension of being, a shift from survival into supernatural movement. To walk in it, you must activate the rise. First, understand this truth. Survival was your training ground. It was where you learned to hear God, to discern spirits, to trust without answers. You did not just become strong, you became spiritually sensitive. You learned to navigate without a map, guided only by the whisper of intuition. That was never weakness. That was the building of spiritual muscle. But hear me, what carried you through will not be enough for where you are going. You are not meant to remain in survival. You are called to command your life in the Spirit, to activate your rise. And the first step is a shift in posture. Survivors walk with heads down, bracing for the next blow. But those who walk supernaturally move with confidence. You are no longer a victim of your environment. You are the shifter of atmospheres. The moment you decide to stop expecting life to wound you and begin expecting divine alignment, everything around you begins to change. The heavens respond. Angels move. Favor begins to locate you when you stop hiding and start walking in authority. You were never created to beg, you were created to declare. So speak differently. Think differently. Pray differently. Stop asking if and begin commanding when. Declare aloud, I am no longer surviving. I am walking in supernatural timing. Say it again and again. And if your spirit bears witness to this truth, comment 999 below. This is not arrogance, it is alignment. For the Creator never designed you to remain beneath your promise. The next step is this: clear out the residue of survival. Because survival taught you to prepare for lack, even when abundance was on the way. It taught you to settle, to whisper, "It's okay, I'll make do." And while that mindset served you once, it is now blocking your flow. You must unlearn the lie that you have to suffer before you can be blessed. God does not require you to crawl into your breakthrough. You can walk into it boldly whole, ready and clean. This means detoxing your spirit, decluttering your inner world, cutting off survival-based thinking. Lies like, "It's too late. I don't deserve this. I'll always struggle." These are chains keeping you small. The supernatural begins when you realize you are not called to earn everything you are called to receive some things. The harvest does not always come through hustle. Sometimes it comes through surrender, through stillness, through trust, through faith. Then, activate your spiritual disciplines. Survival mode taught you to fight. Now it is time to learn to flow, to walk in rhythm with the divine. This means aligning yourself daily with intention. Wake up with purpose. Fast when the Spirit calls you. Pray with authority, not desperation. Speak life into your atmosphere. Command your energy before you step into the world. You are no longer entering days aimlessly. You are moving with divine strategy. And finally, release control. This is often the hardest step for chosen ones, because when you have depended on yourself for so long, trusting a higher hand feels dangerous. But hear me, you cannot rise into divine flow while clinging to control. Let go. Let God. Trust that you are seen, that you are supported, and that what has been written for you cannot miss you. You did not survive this long to doubt now. You did not walk through so much darkness to question the light. And as you rise, you must surround yourself with alignment. This path is sacred. It cannot be shared with everyone. The supernatural walk is often quiet, intimate, and misunderstood by those still trapped in survival thinking. So protect your peace. Guard your gates. Choose carefully who has access to your presence. Chosen ones are not arrogant for setting boundaries, they are obedient. And hear this, your rise does not need permission. It requires participation. It requires action. The door is already open. The only question is, will you walk through it? Will you release the identity you built just to survive? Will you step into the identity that has been hidden until now, the one that commands, creates, speaks, and flows with divine fire? That version of you has been waiting to lead. Understand this, the supernatural life is not about being loud, it is about being aligned. And you, chosen one, are ready. Your survival season was real, but your supernatural season is more real. It is here. It's happening. And it is time. You are not just recovering, you are rising. You are not just healing, you are activating. And nothing, absolutely nothing, can stop a chosen one who has awakened to their power. But to walk fully in this new dimension, you must break the inner poverty spirit, because poverty is not only about money. Yes, you survived the hunger, the empty accounts, the physical lack, but now it is time to confront the deeper struggle, the voice within. The real poverty is not around you, it is inside. The inner poverty spirit still whispers long after the struggle is over. It tells you that you are not enough, that you will never have enough. That success is not meant for someone like you. But hear me, that voice is not yours. It is residue. It is a lie. And it must be broken, for poverty is more than empty pockets. It is a mindset, a belief system, a spiritual stronghold. You can have food on your table and still think like you are starving. You can have opportunities and still feel unworthy to take them. That is the inner poverty spirit. It keeps you afraid to receive, afraid to expect, afraid to stretch. It convinces you to stay small, to shrink back, to apologize even for wanting more. Chosen one, this spirit is subtle. It hides in hesitation when you shrink back from asking for your worth, when you downplay your gifts, when you reject abundance because you fear it is greed. But hear me clearly, desiring to rise is not greed. It is divine alignment. You were never designed to stay low. You are created to rise and reign in your purpose. That poverty spirit was planted early through lack, through shame, through cycles of survival in families that never saw beyond just getting by. But now you are awake. And once awakened, you cannot carry what you once did. You must release the inner chains. You must rewire your beliefs. You must look that spirit in the eye and declare you no longer live here. So, how do you break it? Begin with the renewing of your thoughts. Speak differently. Expect differently. Pray as though the answer is already unfolding. Stop saying, "I can't afford that." Say instead, "It's not in my budget yet." Stop saying that life isn't for me. Say instead, "If God placed it in my heart, it must be part of my journey." You shift the language because the inner poverty spirit feeds on agreement. Starve it. Chosen one, the wealth you are meant to carry, spiritual, emotional, even material, requires space. And that space cannot be occupied by old scripts of fear and lack. It is time to upgrade your identity. You are not a beggar. You are not a burden. You are not cursed. You are blessed. You are assigned. You are destined. You are ready. Let this be the moment the chains break, not just around your finances, but around your future. The poverty spirit cannot walk with you into where God is calling you next. You are not only leaving struggle behind, you are leaving the mindset of struggle behind. And once you do, you will never be the same. You were hidden for a reason, but you will not remain hidden forever. Let this truth settle in your soul. You were hidden not because of rejection, not because of punishment, not because of failure. You were hidden because of divine protection. While others were seen, celebrated, and promoted, you were kept in the shadows by the very hand of God. Not because you were unready, but because what you carry is too holy to be revealed before its time. Many of you have asked, "Why does no one see me? Why are my gifts overlooked? Why do I pour so much, yet still feel invisible?" The answer is this: your hiding place was heaven's womb. You were never buried. You were planted. And everything planted must remain underground until it is strong enough to break the surface. Your roots were growing. Your character was being shaped. Your oil was being pressed in private. Chosen ones are hidden because their very presence carries disruption. When you arrive, cycles break. Atmospheres shift. Hidden darkness is exposed. That is why your emergence required divine timing. Had you stepped into visibility too early, the warfare would have been more than you could bear. God did not delay your rise, He guarded it. Your silence was sacred. Those seasons, without applause, were training grounds in heaven's hands. Your anointing is not shallow, it is deep, forged in stillness. Do not resent the years of being unseen. That silence sharpened your discernment. That isolation protected your innocence. That hiddenness forced you to lean fully on God, not on applause. But now, chosen one, the season of hiding is lifting. The world that once ignored you will begin to take notice. Doors will open. Favor will locate you. Not because you chased it, but because you became it. You will not need to announce yourself. Your presence will speak louder than any introduction. What was growing in secret is about to be revealed in glory. You were hidden because you were sacred, but you will not stay hidden, for you are needed. There are people waiting for your voice, your wisdom, your healing. The world may never understand how you endured, but they will feel the weight of what you carry. You are prepared in silence, but you will be revealed in strength. So take courage. The waiting was not wasted. The obscurity was not a detour, it was divine. And now that heaven has given the green light, step boldly into your season. Walk forward knowing this. Every invisible season was heaven's endorsement. You were hidden, but only until the appointed time. And that time is now. Final prophetic truth, chosen one, you were never the fruit. You were the seed. What you once mistook for failure, delay, or rejection was never your ending. It was your beginning. Seeds do not look like much on the outside. They are buried, pressed under pressure, surrounded by darkness, forgotten by those who cannot see what they contain. But within the seed lies destiny. Within the seed lies the blueprint for breakthrough, transformation, and abundant fruit. You have been buried in silence, in trials, in years of seeming obscurity. You cried out, wondering when your time would come. But it was never about if, it was always about when. For when the soil covers the seed, it is not death, it is development. When the seed begins to break, it is not being destroyed, it is growing. And so were you. Every poverty, every rejection, every sleepless night, every spiritual battle was part of your germination. Your roots were stretching deep so your fruit could stand tall. You were being anchored so that when increase arrived, you would not collapse beneath the weight. Others may have bloomed quickly, but they withered just as fast. You were slow because you were being made solid. And now, the time of emergence has come. This is your confirmation. You were never behind, you were becoming. The world may not have seen the process, but they will see the fruit. For when a seed breaks through the soil, nothing can stop it. It grows because it must. And you, chosen one, are about to rise. Not as a victim of your past, but as a vessel of divine purpose. The seed season has ended. The rising season begins. The fruit is forming. The time has come. And everything that tried to bury you only planted you deeper. You were hidden for a reason, forged for a season. And now heaven is calling you into the light to fulfill what you were always destined to do. Chosen one, you were the seed, and now the harvest is near. You are meant to hear this today. This is not just another video, it is a divine appointment. Your spirit has been crying out for answers, for clarity, for confirmation. And today, heaven has answered. You were destined to hear this at this exact moment, not a day earlier, not a moment later. Because your soul is ready, ready to understand, ready to break free, ready to rise. Yes, you carried burdens that were never yours. You walked through seasons of lack and silence that almost convinced you that you were forgotten. But now you know the truth, you were never forgotten. You were chosen. You were being trained, refined, hidden for a holy purpose. Poverty was never your curse, it was your calling. A setup for something eternal. You no longer need to return to survival mode. You no longer need to apologize for your pain or shrink your light. You were born in the fire because you were meant to rise from it, and rise you shall. And if this word confirmed what has already been stirring in your spirit, do not keep it to yourself. Share it with another chosen one. Like this video, subscribe, tap the bell, and carry this fire forward. You are meant to hear this today, because this is the moment everything shifts.